Hello, Anonymi. Welcome to a very exciting video that I'm doing with Junior. Say hey, Junior.
Hi.
And uh, he and I both have a Wheatie collection going. And Junior, I think you filled out your other one that's 1941 and newer.
Hmm.
But this is the tough one, 1909 to 1940. I'll show you where he's at. That's the old page. This is 18 through 29. And that is 30 through 40. So, as most of you know, if you're into coin collecting, if you buy a shotgun roll of Wheaties, it's going to be 90% 40s and 50s. And the people are not ripping you off when you buy it like that. It's simply because they made that many more of the 1940s to 1950s. So it's very difficult to hunt and find pre-1940 coins. And I do have the set here, but I just kind of wanted to show you there are some common years that I have that could really stand for upgrading. This 1916, that's slick. That should be no problem to upgrade. Some of these 1918s, that's very, very common. This is worn slick, maybe fine condition, tops. So I have a lot of improving to do here before 1940. He has a lot of them to fill in all together. And a good friend of ours on a Facebook group was selling bulk 1909 to 1939 Wheaties. So what you're looking at is a little over 500 pre-1940 Wheaties. So Junior and I are going to go through these, and there's some, I peeked, we haven't gone through them, but there are some decent looking coins in here that are, like that 1930 is not bad. That's in at least fine condition, maybe very fine. That's nice. What is that? 1919 with a mint mark S, 19S. So there's some goodies in here, and we're going to try to upgrade mine and fill in a lot of his. And I don't expect to find key dates. That's not what we're looking for. But we're going to sort through these by year and mint mark, lay them out, find the best grades, upgrade our books. And when we lay them out, we'll bring you back into the video. And that'll be quite a while for us, but for you, it'll be just a few moments. So wish us luck. We're going to go through these. All right, guys, welcome back. Quite a lot of time has passed. It's actually been a couple days since we started. It didn't take us 2 days to go through it, but I was trying to find a good time that I could go through them a little bit more, pull out some cool things that you might like to see, and lay this out in such a way that it makes sense. So this section here, these top 3 rows, these are your teens. These 3 rows right here in the center, these are the 20s. And then the bottom 3 rows here are your 30s. So you can kind of get a visual on the year distribution, how that laid out. We're super heavy in the 1917 through 19s. The most common coin in the whole batch was 1919, and this is one of 3 equal stacks. It's about a half a roll almost. There's almost 2 rolls worth of 1919. Second most common coin was probably 1930. Third most common coin, 1918. 1920, 35, 36 were common. Everything with a P was more common than mint marks, as you would expect. In the batch, however, one of the more common mint marks was the 1919 S. And in that batch, there were some that weren't bad. Like there's an example. That's not a bad looking coin. So we're still going to go through these and look for upgrades in my album, and then we're going to pump Junior's album full. Now, there are other very cool things that I wanted to show you that weren't just years and mint marks. Oh, and I thought I would mention, you can see these gaps here. 21, 22, 23, nothing. Nothing from 1914. We did find some 10s, 11s, 12s. This is not a 10S. That fell off a pile here. Didn't mean to deceive you that way. No mint marks until I think this is 16. Yeah. And then we have DNSs popping in. 19S, 20S. Everything in here is pretty thin. It's not common stuff. In the 30s, I started to get a 35D pile that was pretty decent. Everything else had 1 to 3, however, so they were pretty scarce. Anyway, what else was I going to say before we move to the cool finds? 1931 is a tough year. It's not one of the lowest mintage years, but it's tough. The one on the left here is not a bad coin. That's extra fine. That's a nice coin. That's likely, I haven't checked in my book, that's likely an upgrade. Okay, let's get into the cool coins that were worth picking up and mentioning separately. We'll start with some error coins. Right here you can see there's a struck through reverse. Big greasy blob there on the reverse. And that is a 1929 struck through reverse. You can see another struck through error here, right in the middle. Big greasy blob. 1919. And then the last one, I don't believe this is a strike through. I believe this is a lamination error. You can see it there in the field. 1934D. So that's kind of cool. This is what they call a Wheatie. Some people call them Wheaties. The more proper term, this is an improper alloy mix. So oftentimes the copper, the tin, and the zinc did not get mixed in thoroughly enough. And you can see the coppery area and the brassy area striping. And they're all going this way. And then if you flip it over, it's still going the same way. So it's all the way through, the obverse and reverse. So that's a cool Wheatie. This one caught my eye. It's really not that special, but the strike on it was incredible. It had good clean fields, but then I looked it up and it said 1916 is notorious for really good clean strikes. And the reverse popped. The fields were darker than the devices. I loved the way that it looked. Not a valuable coin, but I thought it was a cool find. This one had ever so slight amounts of redness still left in it. It might not be showing up here very well, but just glimmers of red. It would definitely get a brown designation, but just enough luster peeking through for me to set it aside. It's a 35S. Okay, here's another improper alloy mix, but this one is radical. This thing is downright yellow. This looks like a brass instrument or a cartridge, rifle cartridge brass. This thing is golden yellow brass. And the thing is, it's a decent grade. It's a 1918 Philly. This thing is yellow. And you can see the luster is there too. It's hard to grade this sort of thing with this much striping on it. You almost have to get it in the angle where there's light and the striping gets fuzzed out. But this is an incredible coin. I really like this coin. And then last but not least, between that brass one and this one here, this might be my favorite as well. A very nice looking 1910p. The only thing wrong with this coin is that ding down by the date. It's on the rim and it scrapes over the date a little bit. But it's a dark chocolate. Very deep brown. High grade. And when I say high grade, I don't mean mint state. This thing looks AU to me. It might be high XF, but I think it's AU. And that's going to be an album upgrade for me. My 1910 is slick. So what we're going to do is put these things in tubes. I'll probably pull out some of the more green ones that are prone to spreading some corrosion. I'll probably pull those things out, get them out of the main population, but tube these things up and save them. Who knows? somebody else may get a kick out of going through them someday in the future. And that's it. Like I said, we'll get Junior back down here when it's morning, and I'll let him comb through what's left and fill up his album. So hope you guys like this. We had a lot of fun. This was a very fun little purchase and project. So click that like button, subscribe to us. That's the best way to stick with our videos, and leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite coin is. If any of the ones that I showed you were your favorite coin, let me know which one. We'll see you guys in the next video. Happy hunting.